so grateful. I am so inspired. And we're going to move into our spontaneous conversation part of the Grace on Fire.
Okay.
So would you like to start, or?
You start. I'm going to let you
start. Well, let's move into, I like let's just continue where we were at. I mean, I think that's really beautiful how you felt someone with you, and it was, and the message was to just take a breath and slow down. And I believe, you know, you say if you'd been there a few minutes later or earlier or whatever, a few minutes earlier, and you would have been, that could have been you.
Yeah.
But I believe that everything is meant to be, and you were meant to be protected. You were meant to be carrying on. You were meant to be at that gym. You're meant to, you have so many gifts and talents to share with the world, and we all do. I mean, we all do. And so this is to everybody too, is when we're, you know, when we're following our heart, when we're living from our center in alignment with our truth, we are where we're meant to be. And we can kind of relax and slow down and trust that life will take us where it needs to be. And
just trust in the process.
Trusting in the process, because it's not, life isn't easy. This is a challenging game we all signed up for. It's a very challenging game, and I don't think anyone is exempt from the challenges of life. Some definitely have it a little easier than others, for sure, and everyone's challenges are very different. We can't compare, but it's not an easy game in life, and especially when you're up to big things, like you're up to big things. You're making albums, you're changing the world, you're helping people, bring inspiration to people through it, you know, that are in addiction, and all people through your song. And when we kind of step out into a bigger arena in the world, it you know, it does create more challenges. That's just part of the game. And that's why your message of don't give up is so important. It's so beautiful.
It totally is, you know, and I'm thankful to be able to, I just relocated to Las Vegas, the beautiful city of Las Vegas, Nevada. You know, what more opportunities can you get being out here? You know, and just meeting, I've met a whole new group of friends, and, you know, all the girls I hang out with are just wonderful. And, you know, we're all getting together to have a barbecue for my birthday in 2 weeks, you know, and so it's just, we're in a pandemic. What much can you do? You know, it's just make the best of it and make people smile. And that's, you know, even though everyone has to go around and wear a mask right now, I choose to make people smile by wearing one that, you know, is going to make you smile. Like people that come to me, I like that mask that you have, you know, like that makes me smile. And I'm like, good, that was my whole purpose of wearing it, was to make you smile.
Before the end of the show, you're going to have to put that mask on and show everything.
I will. I have it right here. I'll stick it on as we speak. And I love it because it works as a headband when I'm not, like, you know, doing anything, but I just absolutely love it. And the fact that it brings a smile to other people's face through this whole pandemic. And that is my main purpose, is I want to make others smile. And if they actually stop to say, hey, thank you for putting a smile on my face. I've had people that say that just because it does make them smile. And it's great that, you know, people do smile when they do see this. You know, it's a little creepy at times, but you got to get the nose all perfectly. And it has the lashes too. So if you like look at it, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like almost like my lashes. So there we go. Oh, it's the best.
Perfect. It's perfect.
So it's fun, you know, and that's the best. I have one that's smiling. I have one that, you know, is doing something else, and just the people's reactions during, you know, the pandemic. It's like a quick, whoa, look at her face. That tripped me out, you know, and then some people go, that's good. I like that, you know, and that's the main purpose is, you know, everyone's struggling through this pandemic, and just to stay positive through it all and make others smile is what makes me feel great inside. So it's being able to do that and just show my message of, we'll all get through this, you know, as dark as it seems, we'll all get through this together. Absolutely. And it's cool being in Vegas. A lot of the hotels, like Caesar, I'm at Caesar's Palace right now, and Caesar outside has a mask on his face right now. So
Great.
it kind of, sends the message for everyone to wear their mask, even though you don't want to, or you don't. It's really going to save everyone else's life, and we're going to get through this 10 times faster if everyone just follows that. So it's great to see that outside, that some of the characters around town have a mask on as well.
It's beautiful. I think what you said about staying positive is one of the most important things through this pandemic. They've even said there's studies that people that get into fear are more apt to get sick. So it's really important that we all stay as positive, look at all the blessings that we have, keep the vibration high, be as compassionate as possible and understanding, and like you say, helping and reaching out to as many people as we can, and just keep our own vibration high and help to lift the vibration of all those that are around us. And one of the things that I do is I meditate every day, and something I've been doing majority of my life, and I just send that love and I send that light and I send all those good vibrations out to the whole world. And I know somehow it's making a difference to the world. And the more positive we can stay, and the more unified we can stay. Makes me sad, some of the division that's been happening at this time on the planet, when something like this, like 9/11 brought us all together so powerfully. It brought us all together, and then here we are. We've got this pandemic, and it's separating. And of course, we got the elections, which is separating the two parties. But there's
everything just
devices. And I think unifying together and coming together as humans and as equals, and we're all really wanting the same thing. We're really wanting everybody to be healthy. We're wanting everyone to live a fulfilled, happy, healthy, joyous life, and have all the opportunities that they can have, and come together and enjoy one another in community.
You just have to surround yourself with positive people, is what I've come to realize. When you get around the negative, it's only going to bring you down in your personality and yourself. So as soon as you find someone you're negative around, get rid of them and scoot towards the positive. And, another thing I like to do as well is meditate, like you said. And also, I'm big on journaling. When you feel down, jot down how you're feeling, and write the date and keep that journal and look at it a year from now, because you're going to look back at that and go, wow, this is what I was doing 2 years ago on this day. I was feeling down and out about myself, and now I feel amazing. Like I would never be thinking like that, So it's just document it, because it makes me feel better being able to write something down and just get it out on paper. So that's always definitely another plus, something for people to do if they struggle with anxiety of things going on in life. And definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I journal too. As a child, I journaled. I had diaries and diaries. And when I moved from Massachusetts to Utah, I had so many boxes and boxes of diaries. I ended up wanting to read through them all. I got maybe one or a half of a diary, and I threw them all away. I just had to throw them all away.
No.
It's been my gift and I've continued my whole life. And so when my beloved son John here, when he passed away, that is what opened up my ability to channel his messages. Because I was writing every day, just write. I journaled and journaled, and then all of a sudden, all this wisdom started coming out. This isn't, it was him.
And do you feel his presence with you when you do these shows?
All the time, 24/7.
It's crazy, because the place I moved into here in Vegas a couple months ago, the lady that owned the house previously, my mom and we were at the house, and we just thought it was strange. We'd feel these different presence of someone being there, right? And just this weird, come to find out, she passed away of cancer a year ago. And it was her 1-year anniversary 2 days ago. And so it was weird, because we felt her presence around in her home that we now live in, and so they're good, it's nothing bad, but it's just, when someone's there and sending kind of, just standing around you, but it's a good feeling, because you're taken care of. And, they're there to show you that, they're here, they're with you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I used to tell both my children, You know, we're all infinite spirit. We're all eternal life force energy. And when this body goes, which is just a tiny aspect of us, a beautiful, sacred, beautiful aspect that we need to really take care of and be grateful for. But when it goes, we don't go. We continue on in another way. But what we are, our intelligence, our awareness, our consciousness is eternal, and it continues on. And so I'm grateful. I mean, knowing that, I can't imagine people that don't know that, because it was so devastating, and I still grieve the loss of my son, knowing that, knowing he exists, feeling his presence, and knowing he exists, and telling him his whole life that we all exist. I used to tell him, you don't need to grieve me because we all exist. I'll be your guardian angel. And now he's mine.
And look at what you're doing now, is you're continuing on with his legacy and what he wanted to do. And, you know, he's no longer living with pain. You know, just know that.
He struggled he had a very, very hard struggle with addiction. I have a friend up the street where he came up to her house just 3 or 4 days before he passed from his accidental overdose. And he was sober at the time. And he said, it's hard. He said, it every minute of every day, I struggle against that urge to use. And he had gotten his master's degree, and there was a party, and
He wanted to celebrate.
yeah, and so it really just takes one time, and of course, you know, it devastated my life, and many, he had so many friends and followers, but I am reporting on what he, and that is what keeps me alive. That's what keeps me ticking.
And that's what I love, that you're doing this in honor of him, you know.
I am. He was my videographer for Grace on Fire. We did it in 2016. We did it for 8 weeks. We had 8 people every Saturday for 8 weeks, and he videotaped me. I still have his camcorder. We did it in this room right behind me, right here. And I like to be outside, so now I sit out here. But we did some of them outside. So I'm doing a lot in his honor, and that is what inspires me. Because what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do with your life once your child, and he and I, like I say, we're like this. What do you do? So it keeps me on the planet. It gives me a purpose. And I think that's something really important for everyone to know, is to have some sort of purpose. Yeah. And I actually felt suicidal after he passed. I remember laying on his bed where he passed, and I you know, couldn't move from that spot. And I still sleep in that spot. So because I like to.
And it's crazy how people can get suicidal from stuff like that, because you know, I actually am not a suicidal person whatsoever, but during my addiction, I had 3 attempts at suicide. And that just wasn't me. It was the drugs and alcohol speaking. So that takes over your body, you know. And the fact that being sober today, I'm like, I love my life. I wake up every day with a purpose and drive to move forward, you know, and I would never think about giving up that easily, you know.
No.
So it's not worth it to me, you know. You have one life to live the best life that you possibly can.
Absolutely. And when I laid down and I just wanted to join him, that's really what I wanted. It wasn't that I really wanted to die. I just wanted to be with him. And I felt like I could be with him that way. But I'm with him now. He's with me always. He's with me in an even stronger way now. So I'm grateful.
Yeah.
But what really like helped me was, I said, if I die, who's going to forward his one world humanity? Who's going to forward all that he started at, you know, as president of Young Americans for Liberty, the Humane Fair Trade Directory, and the One World Community, and all that, and, you know, the global movement for a peaceful, thriving, and free world for all. And I just thought, no one will. There's nobody. My daughter wasn't interested. You know, I didn't know anybody. And what I'm saying is, it gave me a purpose. And so I believe if someone has a purpose, and if you don't have one, create something, create some sort of purpose, because every human being that is alive today is here because they are meant to be here, and they have a purpose. Now, I didn't really find my purpose until, you know, well, my son's eternally 25, so I'm eternally 47. Until I was 47, So hold on. If you don't know your purpose, you have a purpose. Everyone does. Everyone has a life purpose. And to know that you have that, to create something that gives you a purpose. And like you say, the sun does always come out tomorrow. And we have our times where, yeah, it can be dark. It can be dark. But it is
That's the
all,
time you need to reach out to somebody.
yes,
You're having those moments.
connect. And I mean, that's the most beautiful thing, because you started with, connecting with people, and how that has been something that you've always been a good connector with people, and that's brought you joy, and you love to reach out, and that's a gift that you have. And you've come to Vegas just recently, and obviously you have all these new friends because you've reached out to people, and you have been of an interest in people, getting to know human beings, and the fascination of a human being cannot ever be put into words. Every human being on this planet is deeply phenomenal.
And it hits home with me, because my friends, all the friends I hang out with, have all lost a son or a daughter to cancer. And so the fact that they allowed me into their circle, knowing that I haven't lost anybody, but I shared my story with them when I first met them, and we just vibed together, and we just felt that aura that, she's a good person, I want to be friends with her. And it was just great that they let me in like that. And one of the girls mentioned, she goes, yeah, we don't let people in just out of, that haven't lost a kid to cancer in like that at all, and I'm very passionate about giving back. And when I first moved here, quick story, I made a shadow box for all the victims that lost their lives in the shooting here. And there's a little healing garden that they have here that is dedicated to all the victims. And the families came together and planted a tree for each and every victim. And I actually did a shadow box and hand painted little hearts and put wings inside and everyone's name and age. And I actually went and placed it there at the garden when I first moved here. And I put my Facebook name on the back just in case, anything happened. And I get a message the next day, and the guy goes, I'm thinking in my head, oh, it broke, it fell off a shelf and shattered, And so he reaches out to me and says, no, we love it and want to make it a permanent fixture of the garden. And so we took it home and sealed it shut and put screws on the back and are actually drilling it into the wall this week. We just wanted to let you know that in case you came by to look for it and it wasn't there. And so I'm currently making one for my friend for her birthday, in memoriam of her son. And, it's just, I love doing stuff like that. And if it's going to, help them with the grieving process, then great. I'm serving my purpose and helping them. So thought I'd share that little detail.
It's beautiful. That is your purpose. You're helping and sharing, and just that small, I mean, it's not small. It's actually, I believe it's very huge to help those who are grieving, because it's one of the hardest things that a human being can go through is to lose a loved one, especially someone who we're extremely connected to. And every little act of kindness helps. And that was a beautiful act of kindness for those.
And I also, it's great because the gym I work out at, I committed to one of the moms who struggles the most in losing weight because of her son passing, who's been taking it the hardest. And I committed to helping her lose weight by attending a gym with her every morning. So I drive 30 minutes out of my way at 6 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 4:59 every day to be there by 6 in Henderson. And I live the completely opposite way. But it's commitment, it's me. It helps me feel better at the end of the day by I'm getting my workout and I'm also helping her, so I'm doing double, which is great.
Win-win. It's win-win.
A win-win. Definitely.
You could go to a really close gym and sleep a little bit later, and but you're not, because you've committed to helping her, and she's lost a son. I mean, I've lost a son. I'll never be the same. We'll never be the same. I mean, not that it's a bad thing. Maybe I'll be better someday, but that is such a beautiful gift to someone who has lost a child. That to just have you as a friend and workout coach, workout buddy, whatever.
Whatever I can do to help her process and help her heal and get through it. So
The
it's a
world
wonderful
needs
feeling.
more people like you, Alexa.
Yeah, it's scary though, because there's just, you don't know who's out there, just there's so many scary people that you could just cross the street and, someone could be there, wanting to murder you or something. It's so scary. You just never know who's, around the corner these days. So you have
Protected.
to be careful. Yeah, you really have to be careful and who you let into your circle.
You do. You're right. Vibrations are very powerful, and if you start to connect yourself with someone with a negative or toxic vibration, it infiltrates your life and your energy, and it affects all aspects of your life. So you really do. It's like anything else. You have to be careful about the energies of people. And like you said earlier, if they're going to be negative and this and that, it's like you go outie. I like that. I use the analogy of, when you have you were wanting our tree to be strong and healthy and grow taller. And, when there's a branch that's toxic or negative, or, you got to trim those branches that are sucking the life and not, serving. And so all that no longer serves us, we just need to lovingly and send them off with love, stay in that positive state ourselves, but that energy's not aligning with the vibration we want to stay in. And to always, I think if we do it from a place of hate and anger and resentment, then we're stuck in that energy. But if we do it from a sense of self-care and love and compassion for our own self and for them, and send them away with love, and just say that this isn't vibrating with my energy, this isn't serving me in the way I need, because you're here, Alexa, you're helping and serving so many people. That's your purpose. That's what you do best. And you're doing it so beautifully. So you're taking care of yourself. If somebody has is going to pull you down with negative vibrations, that you need to take care of your own self and keep that vibration high and surround yourself with like vibrations so that you can fulfill your purpose. Because people can bring you down really quick.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Amen.